Most business owners don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they don't know how to multiply time. Here's what nobody tells you: your VA isn't failing. The system you gave them is. You hire someone, they're eager, and 2 weeks later, you're frustrated. You're thinking, why can't they figure it out? They're thinking, why can't my boss tell me clearly? Today, I'll show you how to turn a VA from a task doer into a business partner so you buy back your time, scale faster, and feel free. If you've ever felt like your VA isn't working or like you might be the problem, lean in. What I'm about to share will change how you lead, delegate, and grow starting today. I would say this is one of the biggest highlight that most VA agency or industry does not really teach or undersell, and thus there's so much failure in the VA world, the collaboration with the VA and the clients. A lot of people will say, man, I feel like my virtual assistant is a bot. My gosh, I worked with 5 virtual assistants so far and it failed, right? Man, they are not really working out for me. I just have been hearing story about it. And when I first started my agency, I have clients who are like, you know what, I'm just gonna go. There's 2 ways you pay, right? All the coaches are always talking about either pay with time or money. My first 10 years of my life, I pay with time, right? Just go get free courses, go try and error because I have more time than money in the bank. And then something really, yeah, there's nothing to hide. I understand more and be successful with the VA journey. If you are successful with the VA journey, you most likely will be successful with your business. My foundation all my life, it's been 15 years now. Everything is built on VAs, and I do it on the purpose. I want to show people that virtual assistant can do everything that you want them to do. You don't have to substitute with a local employees. You don't have to substitute with a professional, right? You don't have to do all that. VA can really do it all. And that's my almost my guarantee and my thing that I wanted to share with everyone so that you have the desire, the belief that, okay, I can do that too. I would say this is like the new, if you read the Tim Ferriss 4-Hour Work Week, they said this is the new millionaire mindset, right? The old millionaires obviously own a million. The new millionaire mindset for him in the book is that you go to Asian country or country that have really like cheaper in currency. So you actually get a times 4, times 5. So you're living technically a millionaire lifestyle, but maybe only 250K. But you're living $1 million lifestyle because everything is so cheap. And that is a different type of lifestyle. For me, VA is like the new millionaire lifestyle because you can have 5V equate to 1 local employees here. And you don't have to worry about the red tape, social security, taxes, unemployment taxes, the discrimination, potentially get them sue you on a workers' comp. All these liability are gone, right? You can monitor them, ask them for personal information because you don't hit any red tape. They're not going to get a high lawyer to sue you because you are getting too personal with them. You're monitoring them. So for me as a business owner who, I wasn't grown a business owner, I grew into become a business owner. That released a lot of stress because I don't want to get into a lawsuit. Then you can hire a lawyer to go through it for you. So you can cut it off. At least you can only pay 25% of real lawyer fee than 100%, right? So again, with AI and VA, you are in the best place ever. I know that's the right place to go. A few months from now, I will be hitting $10 million in my business. So I'm telling you, I have proven record, all VAs, everything works. However, I need to start from scratch. You're like, okay, Phyllis, that sounds great, but what is that for me? So I want to really share with you, these are from Philippines or from any other country. They are very different than the US. I have US children, niece and nephew, kids in the US ask a lot of questions. Why this? Why that? We are training them to be very vocal. I want this. I don't want that. It's very easy peasy. In the Asian country, right? At the end, they just do this. Okay, don't do this. Then I would just do this. 5-second thing. I don't want to go through it for 10 minutes. And when I buy it, and you don't like it. It really reminded me that was me at the very beginning because we were told, don't ask why, follow your parents, even if it doesn't make sense. There's no individuality. You just follow blindly. If they tell you to jump, you jump. So when VA grow up, that's how the Filipino VAs is doing too. And then they grow up and that's a norm for everybody. So nobody ever asked. And if somebody asks, you are a bad kid. Why are you not following what your parents is doing? So we get punished by being curious and asking. Then they work for big corporation, right? AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, right? State Farm, right? Whatever the big company is. And then when they go in, they are already with a manual. Here's the manual. And this is the party. Do the same thing for 8 hours, right? Don't ask any questions. right? If you ask questions, you're going to get punished because you didn't study the manual well. So that's what they do. It's good for them. That's the culture. However, when it comes to us now, right, we are more entrepreneur. We like to change our mind all the time. I don't know about you, but I change my mind all the time. Every time I go to an event, oh my gosh, that was amazing. They're like, boss, what should I do? You told me A yesterday, B today, right? Is there a manual? We're building a manual with you. We don't necessarily have a manual right now. And even have a manual, I would change it 5 minutes later. Especially me, I change things all the time. Right now, I'm getting to know myself, my system, my process. The VA is in shock. They're like, I don't know what to do because mom tell me not to ask questions. And here you are like, ask me questions, ask me more questions. The more questions you ask, the better I'm going to like you. But for 30 years, they tell me not to ask questions. When I go to business company, they ask me not to ask questions. Now you're like, please ask me question. If you do ask me question, I am going to fire you. I don't know what to do. This is weird, a new muscle. This is why we get them into our program for at least 30 business day, every day, 1 hour. We're like, ask us question. You matters, right? You know, you're smart. You need to speak your mind. We don't have a manual. We need you to be flexible. Don't follow the box because we're building the box together. That's why we do what we do. It's not that they don't want to work with you. It's because they're not used to asking questions. You praise them. Hey, ask me questions. It's like when your kids are eating vegetables. You're amazing. High five. That's amazing. Let me buy you an ice cream. Even though that is bad for you, eating vegetables are good. You wanted to praise them on asking questions. So that's number one, right? Make sure that they're not grown to ask questions. You wanted to celebrate them when they ask you questions. Even if they are dumb, ask why they ask questions first and grow them into it. The first thing is to make sure they ask you questions. Asian culture, American culture is different. When I teach my kids, don't take it personal. If somebody gives you some implementation that is not good for you, feedback that is not good for you, I learned from this India trip, they say, okay, if somebody throw that ball on you, we are trained to catch the ball. And the coach from India say, just dodge it, just dodge it. It's not real, right? So if somebody say, you are a murderer, do you just say, oh, yes, I am? In Asian culture, it's more submissive, more humble. They accept everything. Even if it's not true, you're a bad person. Oh, am I a bad person? Maybe there's something I did. And that's usually how they get into it. Even though it's very small, I've been here for 20 years, then you start noticing they start to deem themselves and magnifying the effect so they can feel it or observe it. They'll speak less with you. They will start to deem themselves. And then you'll start noticing they'll say, oh, I couldn't really sleep. I'm starting to have headaches. I'm going to come in later. If they do not build the right foundation or call their VAs out, that is usually the symptom. So they will overthink. And then they will just keep spiraling that thing without us noticing. They don't tell us they spiral, have headaches, couldn't sleep, and then they will get super sick. They do not feel that they are important. They're not important enough to tell you what is going on in their head. That they will just MIA, missing in action. Maybe it's not working out with this client. I don't think my words meant something. I'm just going to quit and go to the next client because they don't feel worthy. Out of 100% of this, maybe 30% have the ability to really speak up, even like Americanized speaking up. Like majority of them, they will think it 2 or 3 times unless you prompt them, hey, I noticed that something's off. And I love to use this word. I feel something. Is that true? I learned this from Tony Robbins. I feel something. Is that true? Because I'm feeling this. It might not be true, but I'm feeling something. Is that true or not? So open out the dialogue to communicate with them, right? Yeah, actually, boss, I feel like you're harsh on me, or I feel like something's off. And sometimes I do it 3 times. Are you sure it is not true? I know there's something there. Again, it's safe, right? It is a safe space. Tell me what's going on because I wanted to take care of you, right? So let's communicate so that way we can increase the productivity and squash out all the disbelief, right? It's kind of like when we first dating. I don't know whether you like spicy food or not. I don't know whether you like soda. Let's verify and clarify so that we can have a really good relationship. If you open up their word and tell them it's safe to speak up and praise them, give them a virtual high five, then they will start building out that confidence. We are fixing that part of them too. If we do it together, we'll get a really good VA. And obviously, you like eventually, what's eventually? Usually about a month to maximum 2 months, you will get a really good stabilized VA. If it's the first or 2 weeks, you should already see slight improvement. If there's no slight improvement or you're like, I don't feel like something is working out for me, then please reach out to us and maybe we need to communicate with them more. Second reason is maybe they are just not the right personality fit for you. Let us know. We'll find them another home so you don't feel bad. It's a balance on wasting your time and giving them enough time. Take care of yourself because we will take care of them. Don't worry. If it doesn't work, let us know. So next point, right? Most of our business owners are more confrontational. They're more D, more I, right? We speak. A lot of time we are very certainty. Women might be a little bit softer, but with Filipino, they are way over the top on the harmony. We are very afraid of confrontation. It's hard for us to speak up like, hey boss, I think there's something on your face today. I don't think this is the right way of doing doing this, right? So you might want to give them the space or prompting them on those questions, right? Do you understand what I'm saying? Do you have any other questions? It's okay to ask me any questions, even if it is not what I like, okay, or what I want. If you're a masculine man, you gotta do this. Those people usually have a harder time with the VAs because they're like, oh, I don't want to tell him, then maybe he will curse at me or punch me in the face virtually. So they're like, okay, I will. And then when the deadline comes, it didn't get done. That's a very common thing because they're so afraid to ask you questions. And somehow they just thought that magically this thing would get done. And on the back end, we're like, guys, you need to talk to them. And even that last week, yesterday, we just talked about the 5 thing, right? If you don't have a structure of giving them a task, right? It's simple. What is it? Who is this for? Is it for your client? Is it for your children? Is it for yourself? Who is this for? Why am I doing this, right? Why am I doing this? Why are you doing this consistently? Why is this important? How are you going to do it? Zoom, physical meeting, phone call. A lot of times they don't know, especially in the first 30 or 90 days onboarding period. You're cloning yourself. You got to tell them stuff. The 5th one is when. When is the deadline? When's the deadline? There are 2 things about deadlines, and I'm going to give you an example. Deadline means when does it absolutely have to be completed? Second, if you cannot get it done, when should that person be reaching out to you? Let me talk about it, for example, okay? So I will say, hey, Grace, I need you to schedule this appointment with this person. It's very important, right? So schedule this meeting, right? I consider this person as a VVIP client because there's potential connection for me to connect with Alexa Mosey for my business. His name is Jeff, right? He has a lot of connection, a lot of people that I know of, right? And so I want to get deeper with this person because, again, I already said it, because he has a lot of connection. So it's a very important call for me. It's through Zoom, but you have to communicate with him through my messenger. Sometimes it's actually got missed because we have physical meeting, we have Zoom meeting, and we also have phone calls. And there's quite a few times me and Grace missed it. Grace will schedule me for a Zoom call, but it was a physical meeting or a phone call, and I was on Zoom waiting. So be careful of that. When is the deadline? So with Grace at the very beginning, I am an over communicator. I rather them over communicating with me than under communicate, because if they under communicate, it's hard to tune it up. It's easier to tune it down. So at the very beginning, Grace actually gave me an hourly update. Boss, I'm working on this. Boss, I'm working on that. For Grace, when I give him a task, if she did not get it done within an hour, she will let me know immediately on the first, especially the first month. She will say, hey, boss, I'm waiting for the response. I'm not getting it yet. If you are doing like social media, like video editing or whatever, I would say the same thing. For me, I always like to do the standard. Every hour, just give me an update. I'm 75% done, 25% done. Still having a challenge with this, whatever. It is on my prerogative to whether I will read them or not. I will sometimes will mute those messages. I will not be answering them. I will not be checking it. Sometimes I will check them at 5 p.m. at night. Sometimes I'll check it at the end of the week. Obviously, the frequency will be more. When is the real deadline? I need to schedule it by today, 5 o'clock, because the meeting is tomorrow. Usually, a client will get frustrated because I was waiting for them. And after 3 hours, things is not done. And they didn't tell me that things wasn't done, because in their mindset, they don't know what done really look like, or they don't know what your expectation of that is. When we are working for ourselves, we're so used to telling ourselves what it is. Sometimes we forget to tell other people, especially if this is your first one. So you need to really learn how to verbalize. So you got to verbalize. We're training the VAs to communicate with you. Now I know how to communicate with you. Video editing, social media posts, right? If they're doing some technical stuff, it's always good. Figure out, I want you to spend 30 minutes to figure it out. If you don't know, come back and ask me. Or this task usually take me 2 hours. Okay. This task usually take me 2 hours. I know it, you're new. I'm going to give you 3 hours. If you cannot get it done within 3 hours, come back to me. So you wanted to give them expectation on the hours. One time I have done this. I give this VA 5 videos. I say, hey, edit those 5 videos and let me know at the end of the night. At that time, I'm still new. I didn't know what to check. She read my mind. At the end of the day, I saw the 5 videos. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? She put all of them into one video. She messed up a bunch of stuff. I was like, dude, how can this be so wrong? Then I realized they do not have the common sense I have. So I need to spell it out. The good news now is that you have Fathom, this thing called the Fathom Note Taker. All my VAs, we already trained them on setting up this Fathom. Every time they come into a meeting with you, they always have to have Fathom with them, 100%. And we also get them to sign NDA, so they're not supposed to share your Fathom with other people for your trade secrets, okay? So what they will do is they will record your call so they can review it if they have questions. We train them to pull the transcription, pop it into AI software, and ask questions. What did Nicole ask me for? What am I missing? What am I supposed to do? Even better yet, you can prompt them and say, hey, this is a good SOP. This is what I like. Create a Nicole user guide for me. So while you're giving them this, pull them into SOPs. You can create a document immediately and start putting some SOP. Again, I always talk about SOP is a live document. So what you like, put it on. Who is Nicole? Who is Kelly? Are they easy to work with? What are their challenges? How should we hold
hold them accountable. Sometimes we'll ask, what is the human design they have? I was testing it out, asking questions based on the transcription to see who you are. And sometimes we will test it on me. And wow, this is really accurate. But again, you got to prompt that. Ask ChatGPT. Don't ask me all these questions. Ask ChatGPT. So ask our team. Ask first, research on YouTube. Then you come to me for any technical questions. But if it is a Nicole only, Kelly only, Grace only questions, like preferences, like how do you like your egg cooked? How do you like your steak cooked? Those you cannot necessarily Google. Then you ask me. But if you have a SOP built already, this is your second or your third VA, check SOP first before you ask me how I like things done. Because like for me, we have a font size, font style, font color, how I like certain things on my SOP already. Our SOP is like 300 pages long, right? And some of my story, if they wanted to build like social media. So we have SOP now, so they will check out SOP before they come to us. So it saved me a lot of time and energy from all that. Another piece I would suggest too for you is spend about a couple hours, like literally like record this call. I've done this, share from your baby to your grown up and some of the highlight story and what has some of the, what is the word that we just used? Defining moment story of why you become who you become, right? Because one thing I noticed too is when I hired them, they have no background about who I am. Not as intensive as I like. So now on our boarding, our internal boarding, every VAs will have to go through my 1 hour video of who I am, how I grew up, when did I come to the United States, when did I get married, what kid do I have, why am I starting the business? So everybody have know about my life before they come in. So again, if you test out the second, third one, the fourth one, put that into your SOP, right? So everybody know about Kelly, everybody know about Nicole. You don't have to continuously repeat yourself because that's exhausting, okay? So now I'm going to pull us back, right? Just like what I talk about, how they grow up, they like harmony, right? So they are very hesitated to ask questions. So I apologize. You have to be a little bit more patient to grow them on the first 30 to 60 days because when the trust, right? Trust in Asian culture is very low. They never praise you on how much amazing thing you have done. They're only focusing on what else can you do more of because that is love. We are motivating on tough love, right? If I'm your mom, I'm going to tell you how sucky you are as a person. Trust is very low. You're like, that's too extreme. Let me tell you why. I dropped 2 years in my class and started studying with 16 years old. I did English and grammar with 12 years old. I got pushed down. That's what mom wants, right? I take this class called O level. It's our SAT classes, but we have 7 subjects. I'm at the top 1% in Singapore. It's like your top 1% in, I don't know, California or like New York. It's unheard of. I'm so happy bringing my result home. I study every day, right? There's no games, okay? I study about 12 hours. Wake up, study. Before I pass out, study. That's all my life for 2-3 years. Go home, so excited. I show my mom, look, I am amazing, right, mom? Like, I want to show you that I'm the best kid. What happened? Walk away. I was like, oh my God, really? That's it. This obviously resulted me to decide to come to the United States because, wow, people here are more chill. In Singapore, when you fail one subject, you have to retake the whole year. In the United States, you just have to retake that one class. So you see the differences between like life. Trust in Asia is very low. However, if you build trust with them, acknowledging them, allowing them to speak up, they know they can trust you and that you will not fire them because they ask you a question or because they disagree with what you talk about. Because usually when you hire them, they want to protect you because you are it. One thing that I love about them that different than the US is in the US, work is just part of life. But in Philippines, work is their life. Work is the primary, life is secondary. So they really focus on life, business. Sometimes you're like, hey, don't worry about me. Take care of your family. They're like, no, boss, I need to take care of you first. This is the pride. Not a lot of people actually focus on their kids before this until, quote unquote, we get them Americanized, then they will become like that. So they're all about business. Like when I first working in Monique, it's funny, right? Because I was like, work-life balance, only 40 hours. I found out that she got a second job for 20 extra hours. I'm like, why do you do this? Work-life balance. This is what Americans are doing. They're like, boss, I don't know what to do in my life. I realized I gotta accept them as they are because that is their culture. I love it because she took care of me every day since Monique is here. We have been together for 12 years. Took care of her really well, you know? And we literally just have talked about this 3 days ago. And you know how much she trusts me? She said, boss, if you want to use my credit card, go for it. It was an honor that she trusts me so much. When a VA trusts you, they come back for life. Ever since we started this business 4 years ago, we have VAs that still work with the same client for 4 years and many more years to come. I have clients that call me and say, Phyllis, I cannot sleep. I say, why can't you sleep? My VA was so good. What if she leave me? What am I going to do? She will not leave you. It is so hard to find a good employer in the Philippines. And if you are the right one, they're so loyal to you that they will never leave you. The preamp is the foundation have to build well, which is the trust. They know that they can ask you questions and they know that you will never like betray them in the BPO industry. There's a lot of like bad client where like they work with them for a month and then block them from social media, decide not to pay them and they get abused. They'll get PTSD from work. Americans friends. Don't get PTSD from work. Deal with the toxicity. If they love you, we like direct communication. They a lot of time have indirect communication because the trust level is low. They kind of like have low confidence. We grow up like be the follower and not the leader. So it is my job to train them and push them through because they have a lot of potential. They're amazing. I can tell you countless of VAs that we've grown into become the partner for the business, and you can trust them with your life. One important thing, if you hire local people and a VA, the VA will never replace the local, will become your competitor, especially in real estate and mortgage industry. In America, we celebrate failures. Hey, you failed, no problem. Keep it up. Do it again. VA world, they're very afraid of failure. Why don't you try more? They're afraid they're going to fail and disappoint you. Tell them, the more that you try, the happier I am. It's okay that you fail because obviously fail safely. We train them on how to fail safely too. So they're not going to send 1,000 emails without verifying with you. They're not going to do that, but they're going to test out some baby steps. So they might make mistakes, but you're going to be open with them because how are they going to grow without failing? Failing means testing something new. That's up to you, right? Because I know some newer entrepreneur, it's like, I cannot have any failure in my book. So then usually the VA is, okay, then I cannot fail. Then usually the next thing we hear, the VA is not going above and beyond. Above and beyond and failure coexist. You not have failure and go above and beyond. Does it make sense? Going above and beyond is not working within that box, that testing something new to help you elevate. Perception, just what I talked about just now, right? What is your perspective of efficiency and what time are you going to get done? And what they thought they could use to get done is very different. 2 deadlines, right? When is the absolute must this has to be done, and when do you need to approach me if you cannot figure it out? At the very beginning, just every hour, just give me an update. Every hour, give me, because I might forget to ask them for updates. But if they consistently update me, and if they didn't update you, what happened? Are you falling asleep? Are you stressed out? Maybe you have to take care of your kids. I have a very open mind. So the last feedback that I would give you is just be in a very open mind, just as if like going to a new country, a new culture, a new mastermind, everything is new, right? So just be open mind, be very curious about why are you doing this instead of that, right? Why are you doing that instead of this? I'm super curious. Why am I saying this? I just bought a house in Malaysia, right? I haven't been there for 20 years. The design looks exactly the same. Why are they different? In Asia, there's still a lot of people that need to squat, because in Asia you squat, there's a hole on the ground and you just do your business. You cannot sit to do their business, have to squat. So the difference between 600 and 900 is 600 is not squat enabled, 900 is squat enabled. This is new knowledge I found. They're like, this is common sense. You don't know that. I was like, no, how would I have thought about this? I've been in the United States for 20 years. Who squat? Nobody squat. And have you done when you start to see like those labels on like Chinese restaurants? But again, I just want to remind you, be super curious. Why are you saying this? Why are you doing that? Maybe it's because they took it on from the previous client that they have. Maybe because they thought that's what you meant. Maybe because you never know what you never know. So just verify. In real estate, the house in United States is built by wood. The house in Philippines is built by cement. So again, it's just very different from culture to culture. It's clarified and verified. But again, I'm just giving you some example of how common is not so common until you really reach it and figure that out. Just what I said, we are working with them on their personality, right? So that's pretty much like what it is. As a woman, sometimes we also do not speak about what we want. We say we preferred. I would say if you use the word preferred, just say I want or I need. The clearer you are, the better. The coffee is 2.5 sugar, not 3. Brown sugar or raw sugar, not stevia, or I want stevia, not whatever that is, right? Be specific, because they are here to hire to take care of you. The more specific it is, the better. Remove the people pleaser and tell them, then you'll get quicker collaboration. We have created this blueprint. That's what you can expect, right? And now my money is going to be in my bank account every week, right? I only in charge of one button to pay the payroll. Everything else, again, is all done by the VAs. Who pay, who didn't pay, who has issue, who doesn't. If I need a new web page or PPT, I'll tell Monique and everything will be done. So everything is very magical nowadays. So we created this new blueprint that we'll be sharing that with you, and we're growing the VA on. So we're going to build their identity even more, right? So the first thing we talk about is their emotional home. Usually when they come in, they are not confident. So what we say is we want them to have an empowered and empower emotion. Okay, this is from the triad Tony Robbins taught. My new name, when I'm talking to you, I am a phoenix. I'll rebirth. I'm confident. I'm warm. Monique is a summer. She wants to make sure people feel warm. Grace is amazing. She wants to be an amazing person. When we call that name out, we have this new emotion. So we step into the future us. If there's anything else you feel like you can be more supportive or resourceful, you can help them add into this vocabulary. Okay. After that, we have a session to work with them. We tell them, what is your emotional home. My name is Phoenix. Before it was Sunshine because I want to be more warmth and because I feel like growing up was like my environment was kind of cold. So I want to give everybody warmth. But I was like, okay, being a business owner, I need to be more passionate, more power, more bold. So I call myself Phoenix. So every time I was like, okay, Phoenix come out, Phoenix will come out. That's what the name is, emotional home name. We might have to add the word name on there, Grace. And then a code of conduct, again, learning from Tony Robbins. This is the chant that we're doing every single day until we get that into our body. How are you going to be every day? What's the important state that you need to be in top 10 to 12? What they're going to say is every day I'm going to be, or I am. For me, every day I'm going to be resourceful, resilient, joyful. Every day I'm going to be more bold. I'm going to be a great decision maker because I suck at making decisions. So I will put in all the things that I want myself to be. So I have my own, and I also get my VAs to do this. Every day I be the better me, right? Every day, whatever that is. And then the VA must do list, checklist. We have some for them already. If you have something that it's a must, like every morning, they must smile and tell you a story, a joke, put it down. If every day they must do certain things, put it down for them. Tell them to save this as a wallpaper on the phone screen or print it out and put it on their wall so that way they can every day working on it for the next 30, 60 days, a year. And it has been proven helpful. You can close the slide now and we'll share a copy for you. Recently, one of the VA got reprimanded because it didn't work out. She didn't really ask the question and she said yes when she's not supposed to say it's similar symptom. I'm the doctor fixing the symptoms, right? So she's like, thank you so much, Phyllis. She felt all her energy is being withdrawn, right? Because we're telling her what she's wrong with, right? So she's in pain. She can feel the pain. Then she started to read her product and then she better and she survived. She survived and now she's thriving. That's what we are sharing. Ultimately, we are turning the VA to become a new VA. Again, there's a lot of potential of virtual assistant. My business built strictly on virtual assistant. I literally just get a 3.5 months off. Monique and Grace is helping me with customer service. Monique is helping me with all the operation, all the hiring and all the miscellaneous, right? She's taking care of everything. I have a 3.5 months off. My business is still growing and money coming in. And I only work maybe 2 to 3 hours. I used to be my body cannot do it anymore, but the business is still there. So all I'm sharing with you, not to tell you how amazing I am, but to motivate you that this is possible for you too. You could be an amazing individual, right? That want you to do a ton for the business. You can still be an amazing mom who wants to have spent a lot of time with your family and be truly yourself. Ultimately, this is why I do what I do. And the last but not least is that if you really consistently working on building your VA team, I do believe that everybody need at least 4 or 5 VAs, right? To build full foundation to get your full freedom out. But I literally know if one day something really do happen to me, my business will still run. My kids will benefit. My business will still be running by the VAs and I do not have to worry about a single thing. And this is the life that I choose to have. And this is the life that I feel like is my mission to share with the world. I used to tell a fairy tale story and skip all the challenges. Right now, I'm going to share that with you. Last piece I wanted to share is that we really get them to do this thing called time block. Either you're doing it on the calendar or they're just going to send you something in the morning. It takes time, obviously eating into work time, but I like to be much more organized and has been working really well for me for the past, I don't know, many years. In the morning, they show their time block, 8 hours. What are they planning to do? Maybe checking emails, meeting you, all that. So you can visually see what are they spending time on. And then at night, they also will copy the whole thing and readjust what they actually have done. At the bottom, they will tell us the win, celebrating the win, right? What have they accomplished? Because sometimes we forget to celebrate wins. And then what are the challenges that they have? And that way you understand the challenge, so that way you can work on the challenges together with them. So ultimately, if I don't work with them for the whole day, at least I can see what it is. And by them putting that on, they're holding themselves accountable on what are they doing on what block. And that also is very easy for you to communicate with them. As a business owner, we like to throw more things at them. I am guilty of that. Grace worked till 8 p.m. and she's supposed to clock her at 6. I was like, why are you here? But I know why she's here, because I keep dumping more things for her. So the good news is she will never get fired. Bad news, her kids might hate her. So I was like, go. But again, just she take care of me. She picked me first before the kids. Sometimes I was like, please don't do that because I don't want you to quit. You wanted them to do that 8-hour time block, clear communication. What it is that, again, what I do is, again, time block, hourly update, right? At the very beginning. At the end, if you want to cut some of those out, like Grace doesn't really give me hourly update anymore. She just give me update as we go. Because after you build that trust, right? Trust is all built based on communication. Okay? Trust is built based on communication. I need to know what you're working on, how much money you have in a bank account, what kind of car do you have? Do you have any girlfriend or boyfriend before? You want to know all that stuff, right? Same thing with the VA. When you wanted to clone and get a business partners, right? You want to know everything. And this is all about the communicative and non-communicative stuff and the in-between stuff. The more communication, the better, even if you're not monitoring them. And then until you get really solid foundation, you know how it is anymore, then you don't need it. For me, with Monique now, we don't really communicate in that level, right? I can go on days without talking to her, but I know she's working on something. And if she needs something, she was always going to reach out. We already have this partnership rhythm. So I do not require her to communicate with me much anymore, but she still do that with me. So I feel very safe. I really feel very safe on that. I know you're a nice person, people pleaser, who like me, right? But honor yourself, tell them what you really want. If it doesn't work out, let us know. Our job is to find you the right person, and we will not quit unless you quit on us. We will not quit unless you quit on us. If you have any questions, feel free to stay behind. If not, thank you. I love you all, and I look forward to talk to you guys soon again. And thank you for trusting us to have you hire virtual assistant.